Welcome to our video preview of the Valero Texas Open, where we'll be trying to find you the winning picks for this week's tournament in San Antonio. As ever, PickGuru is offering a category picks game for this tournament, and we'll be running through those categories today with myself, Matt Hardy from PickGuru, and Len Hochberg, the PGA expert from RotoWire. Len, excited for this tournament and a small tournament on the horizon as well the following week.
Yeah, we can't get ahead of ourselves, Matt, as much as we'd like to with the Masters. As we're recording this, there are people on Twitter are tracking Tiger Woods' plane heading to Augusta. So but we've got to at least for a little while concentrate on San Antonio for this week, and there's a lot to offer this week in this tournament as well.
We do. We have a guaranteed £300 prize pot for San Antonio this week, but next week we have our biggest ever pot. So £5,000 minimum guaranteed up for grabs for the Masters. Biggest golf game we've ever run at PickGuru. Tiger Woods is provisionally in one of the categories. I won't say any more than that. We're working on those in the background. But yeah, we're all looking forward to that. But let's focus on the Texas Open this week. And let's dive straight into the premium picks category. There's 4 big guns in here. Who's your first pick, Len?
Yeah, well, we have a choice between among Rory Mcilroy, Hideki Matsuyama, Jordan Spieth, and Corey Connors. Rory playing the week before the Masters, for the first time in quite a few years. I know every time a golfer gets onto the course, they try and win the tournament, but I think Rory is thinking more to next week, or at least has one eye on next week. So I'm not sure that he's going to really be in the mix come Sunday. Hideki Matsuyama had to skip the match play because of an injured neck. Don't know where he stands. He's really going to be gearing up likewise for next week to make sure he's perfectly healthy for the Masters. That leaves me with Spieth and Connors, and Connors is playing well now. The last 2 champions, Connors and Spieth. Spieth really not playing well this year. Has 1 top 20, a runner-up at the Farmers Insurance, 1 top 20 all of it this year so far. Corey Connors is starting to play better. Was very impressive at the match play. I know this is stroke play, but he's played well here before. I like Corey Connors.
Any concerns with fatigue for Connors? He's played a lot of golf in the last few weeks. Would that be in the back of your mind or not?
It's more in the back of my mind, or in my mind, for next week than this week. Yeah. I am surprised. He did have obviously played as many matches as possible at the match play. Once you get to Saturday and Sunday, it really starts to wear on you. So he played the full complement of 7 matches. Plus playing this week and next week. He's really very good at the Masters. He's finished top 10 the past 2 years. So yeah, it might alter my thinking for him next week more than this week. Yeah,
good point. Rory, for me, I definitely share your concerns about maybe using it as a stepping stone to 7 days' time. But he ranks first off the tee, recent form in this field, 11th for approach play. He's the clear favourite by daylight with UK bookmakers anyway. He was the one for me. I was tempted by Matsuyama, but I think we were both, me and you both, and the DFS community was scarred by his late withdrawal from injury a few weeks ago. I haven't forgiven him. I wasn't particularly encouraged by his recent comments where he's only just started practicing again. So I can't imagine he's going to be fully tuned for this. So yeah, Rory for me, but completely see where you're coming from with Connors. Let's move on to the front runners category. Who have you selected here?
Yeah, I think, there's something to be said for all 4 of these guys: Maverick McNeely, Siwoo Kim, Adam Hadwin, and Abraham Answer. But Answer is my pick, and not only because he just blew the doors off of Colin Morikawa last week in the match play, 7-6, a very impressive performance. As mentioned already, this is stroke play, not match play. There is a difference. Answer has done pretty well in this tournament. He hasn't really elevated to the highest heights, but he does play. He is a native Texan. He identifies as Texan and Mexican. In Mexico, he has a lot of pressure on him when he plays there, and he plays well, and he does pretty well in Texas too. He will be one of the fan favorites. He'll be in a featured group. And he, like Corey Connors, not playing well at the start of the year, starting to play better. Obviously, if you're gearing toward the Masters, both of them are doing the right thing. I like Abraham Answer this week in his native state.
Yeah, I believe he's a San Antonio resident, so I think he's probably sleeping in his own bed this week as well, which always helps. Very, very popular pick over here in the UK. He's been put up by some big tipsters here. Seems to be the trend guy to go to this week. I really like him, but I came out with Adam Hadwin, who I thought was quite interesting as an alternative. He's the best of these on recent approach play. Recent form fantastic. 9th at the Players, 7th at the Valspar. He arrives here fresh. Thought he was an interesting alternative. So he'll do for me. The next group is the big hitters group. So as you might expect, long drivers in here. Who did you end up with from this selection of players?
Well, first off, I spoke to Ricky Fowler, and he is very flattered and honored to be in the big hitters group alongside the likes of Bryson DeChambeau, Gary Woodland, Tony Fenow.
We might have some historical data in there, perhaps. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, obviously the best golfer in this group is Bryson DeChambeau, but he is still working his way back from injury. He's another guy I think is looking to get reps. He looked okay. He looked healthy at the match play, but he also looked rusty, kind of spraying the ball all over the place. This is not a good place to play if you're going to be spraying the ball all over the place. Driving accuracy matters this week. I'm going to go with Gary Woodland. Woodland did not have a good year last year for a couple of years, yet he finished 6th here last year. Now much more on form with a couple of top 5s or a couple of top 10s in the Florida swing, really playing much better for the first time in a few years. A long hitter, but when he's at his best, he's also a very accurate driver. That's what it'll take this week. Tony Fenow, the other big name in the group, just not playing well. Ever since he won the Northern Trust, he has not been able to get back in the mix. It's, make some sort of arrangement to get a win and then struggle thereafter. But for whatever reason, Fenow not at his best either heading into the Masters. Gary Woodland, I like out of the big hitters.
Yeah, Woodland seems to be the standout pick here. Your colleague Ryan Andrade, who writes the previews for us, he was quite bold and said this is the easiest category to sort out. Woodland all day long for him. I totally get that. I totally get your selection, but tripling up on Gary Woodland is not how we roll here at PickGuru. So I'm going to go for Fenow just for a point of difference. He came 3rd here in 2017. I'm hoping that a return here can inspire some sort of form to come back. There's actually been a lot of money for him this week over here. So he opened up at 50 to 1. He's into about 33s. So he's been popular with punters. I'll just choose him simply as an alternative. But I think Woodland is easily the best pick. Now let's move on to the good chances category. And where has the famous Hochberg hammer, where has it come down on this week?
Well, it probably comes down where it always comes down. I can't remember a time we've done this where you've given me an option of Chris Kirk and I haven't taken Chris Kirk, and he's delivered more times than he hasn't. So right back to Chris Kirk. Not only is he playing well this year, 10th on tour in strokes gained tee to green, his best tee to green year to date. He's been playing very well the entire season. He happens to play this tournament very well. He has been 3 top 10s in the last 6 years at this tournament. He was 6th last year. It just seems that everything aligns for him this year. I do like Patton Kizzire. I just really was looking at Patton Kizzire the other day. He was in the 300s not too long ago. He is making a spirited run to get back in the top 100 in the world. And if he has a good week this week, he could do it. So I do like Patton Kizzire as well. But Chris Kirk has been money for me recently. Got to stick with him. Yep.
I thought this was probably the toughest of the categories to sort out. I thought Keegan Bradley had a shout. I thought Chris Kirk had a shout, as you've explained very well. And you've already touched on my pick, which is Patton Kizzire. 9th last year at this tournament, ranks 4th in this field for shots gained total in the last few weeks. He's won the Mayakoba in the past, which has correlating form here. Another Greg Norman course, I think. I thought this was a very tight category, but Keziah for me. Now, as we approach the final few categories, we tend to knock off two at a time. So let's do the international stars and challengers. Which two players have you opted for?
Yeah, the international stars. This was a tough category for me, not because there are a lot of good guys. I had trouble identifying someone who I really feel confident will play very well. I think, maybe sentimentally rooting for Jason Day, who's not yet in the Masters field. A few guys have been in the Masters for years and years. Ian Poulter comes to mind. He is Ricky Fowler. We know he missed last year as well. But a lot of guys who've been in the Masters for a lot of years are not in the field as yet. They have to win to get in. That's the only way in. Jason Day would be a very nice sentimental pick. But I'm going to go with Jonathan Vegas. I seem to be playing the best of all the players right now. 20th on tour in ball striking. Very important ball striking week, combining total driving and greens and regulation. Should have mentioned that up at the top. Moving on to the challengers category. This guy, I think Davis Riley will be a popular pick for obvious reasons. I just really shined recently. He came close to winning last time out. But I like Sahith Theegala. We all heard about him and discovered him in Phoenix when he was in contention for 4 rounds, ended up finishing 3rd. What I like is that he's continued to play well, 7th at the Valspar. He played Dominican Republic last week. He was 22nd, not a big field, but a lot of guys who are now big boys on the regular tour, they sort of poo-poo that tournament and don't try their best. He really tried that week, only finished 22nd, but I like the way his game is trending. I think he is coming. And we should get to know Sahith Theegala.
Nice. Yeah, I agree. For international stars, I came out with KH Lee. Simply, he's 5th off the tee, shots gained. He's pretty accurate off the tee. Like you said, it's going to be a key factor this week. And I came out with Brandon Steele in the challengers section. He's a former winner around here, got loads of course form, and yeah, he's also pretty decent off the tee as well. So they were the two for me. Let's wrap up with your final 2 picks this week, Len. One from the contenders category and one from the fan favorites category.
Yeah, I think the contenders category is interesting. There are a number of guys in there. I think this whole tournament, I think we can look down the board a little bit off the top guys and could really expect to see someone with longer odds win this tournament and get into the Masters, not already in the Masters. There are a couple of guys in this category, a few guys in this category who are in the Masters already, but they're in that general area. Lucas Glover, Luke List, Takumi Kanaya. But I like Martin Laird. I've been accused of being a Martin Laird fan, but somebody needs to be a Martin Laird fan, right? He is 14th on tour in ball striking. That is just a fantastic number for him. Okay, why isn't he doing better? Well, check his putting numbers. But this is a ball striker's course. I like him to get through the weekend and maybe a lot more than that. He's got to be thinking this is a good opportunity for him. Martin Laird in the contenders category. And in the fan favorites, which I think is very generous of the PickGuru people and not just call it old guys.
We have to be respectful.
Yeah. Here there are a couple of guys, Poulter, Stenson, not yet in the Masters, really a changing of the guard in some ways. But another guy who's not in the Masters who I do like in this category is Matt Kucher. This is the type of course that Matt Kucher can still play well on. There aren't too many of them. The really long ones hurt. This is long, but it's kind of a tactical track. He was 12th here last year when things weren't going well for him, 7th the year before when his game started to unravel. So he can play this track. He knows how to play this track. I like Matt Kucher there.
Cool. For me, contenders, I came out with Luke List. He comes nicely on recent form. He was 17th here last year. Thought he had a chance, but now that you've become the unofficial chairman of the Martin Laird fan club, you're kind of sucking me in there a little bit, so I might change my mind. And in the fan favourites category, I actually came out with Dylan Fratelli, who has been 20th and 42nd here on his only 2 visits. He's in good form. I thought he was quite interesting. Yeah, he'll do for me as the final pick.
He's the youngest guy by about 20 years in that group too, so he's got a big advantage.
Maybe I'm being ageist as per the Pick Guru category, but we'll see. Let's finish with a one and done. So who's your pick to win this week, Len?
Oh gosh, this is like I said, I really don't see a guy at the or I can see a guy a little bit down off the top names coming up and winning this tournament. That might lead me into I don't want to say Chris Kirk because I'm Martin Laird or be upset or something. So I'm going to go with Gary Woodland, playing very well. Really had a chance to win. What was it? The Honda, I think it was, and sort of kicked it away toward the end. He's really a quality player when at his game, and he seems to be healthy now. He seems to be finding his form. Let's throw a dart at Gary Woodland.
Yeah, you touched on it earlier. This tournament is not averse to a big upset. There's been 300 to 1, 250 to 1 winners regularly in the last few years. I'll throw in the last name I mentioned, which is Fratelli. He's about 100 to 1. He'll do for me. Just let's throw a dart, see where it lands as we gear up to the Masters. Speaking of which, do you have an early lean for the Masters, or are you still undecided?
Well, my preseason pick, when I picked all 4 majors at the beginning of the season, was Cameron Smith. And I'm actually a little worried now that he won the Players, because it's going to be pretty darn hard to win the Players and the Masters kind of back to back. So I hope he didn't spoil it for me or himself. But he was my pick. He's played at this course well before. He's obviously playing well right now. This was, of course, before Scotty Scheffler won every tournament in the free world in the last 6 weeks. But I'm going to go with Cam Smith right now.
Okay, we'll chat more on that next week. My early lean is Morikawa, but I'm concerned about his recent form. So plenty of time for me to change my mind. But thanks very much for joining us, Len. Thanks for your thoughts. Please download the app. The link is below. Like and subscribe to this video. Get involved in the Texas Valero Open game this week, and look out for that £5,000 minimum guaranteed game for the Masters next week. Good luck, everyone.